Hello, dear listeners, and welcome to another episode of True Crime Sleep Stories. I'm your host, Kelly Brink. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. If you're enjoying our tales of mystery and intrigue, please take a moment to leave a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. It helps us reach more listeners like you. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Your support means the world to us. Tonight, we step into one of the most haunting and politically charged unsolved cases of the past decade. The early morning shooting of a young Democratic National Committee staffer named Seth Rich in the streets of Washington, D.C. A seemingly random crime that left nothing stolen. A case that quickly went cold. And yet, the questions surrounding his death have only grown louder with time. Was it truly a botched robbery, or was there something far more deliberate at play? We'll explore the timeline, the evidence, the voices that spoke out, and the shadows that still linger around this tragedy. We'll be right back after a brief message from our sponsors. Welcome back to True Crime Sleep Stories. Now, settle in under your covers, dim the lights, and let your mind drift as I guide you through a tragic tale of a young man full of promise, whose life was cut short in a case that remains unsolved to this day. Why was he targeted? Who pulled the strings? Tonight, we delve into the story of Seth Rich, a dedicated worker in the heart of American politics, whose death raises profound questions about power, secrets, and the pursuit of truth. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and listen as we uncover the shadows surrounding the murder of Seth Rich. Seth Conrad Rich was born into a close-knit Jewish family in Omaha, Nebraska, a place where Midwestern values of hard work and community run deep. From a young age, Seth showed a passion for making a difference. He volunteered for the Nebraska Democratic Party, interned for Senator Ben Nelson, and immersed himself in Jewish outreach programs. After graduating from Creighton University in 2011 with a degree in political science, he headed to Washington, D.C., the epicenter of American power, to chase his dreams. There he worked for pollster Greenberg Quinlan Rosner before landing a role at the Democratic National Committee in 2014 as the Voter Expansion Data Director. His job was innovative. He developed a computer application to help voters find polling stations, a tool designed to empower everyday people in the democratic process. Seth was the type of person whose enthusiasm and kindness could brighten even the busiest room in Washington. Friends described him as energetic, kind-hearted, and deeply committed to his ideals. He was just 27 years old, with his whole life ahead of him, living in the vibrant Bloomingdale neighborhood of D.C. But on the early morning of July 10th, 2016, everything changed. It was a warm summer night. Seth had been out at Lou's City Bar in Columbia Heights, a favorite spot where he was a regular. He left around 1:30 or 1:45 a.m., chatting on the phone with his girlfriend as he walked the 1.8 miles home. At 4:19 a.m., he told her he was almost at the door and had to go. Seconds later, gunshots echoed through the quiet streets. Police were alerted by an automated gunfire locator system at 4:20 a.m. They found Seth on the southwest corner of Flagler Place and W Street Northwest, just a block from his apartment. He was conscious but gravely wounded, shot twice in the back. There were signs of a struggle, bruises on his hands, knees, and face. His watch, wallet, phone, and credit cards were all still on him. Nothing appeared to have been stolen. He was rushed to a nearby hospital, where he died about an hour and a half later. The Metropolitan Police Department quickly labeled it a botched robbery, part of a wave of crimes plaguing the neighborhood. But from the start, something didn't add up. Why shoot someone in the back during a robbery? Why leave valuables behind? Seth's mother, Mary Rich, spoke heartbreakingly to NBC's Washington affiliate. There had been a struggle. His hands were bruised, his knees are bruised, his face is bruised. He had 2 shots to his back. And yet they never took anything. They didn't finish robbing him. They just took his life. Police mentioned a surveillance recording showing the legs of 2 possible suspects, but no arrests were made. The case went cold, unsolved to this day. In the aftermath, the DNC mourned Seth publicly. Chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz issued a statement praising his work on voter rights. Hillary Clinton even mentioned his death in a speech advocating for gun control. A plaque and bike rack were dedicated to him outside the DNC headquarters in October 2016, and a scholarship in his name was established at Beth El Synagogue in Omaha. These gestures seemed honorable, but some couldn't help but wonder, tongue-in-cheek or otherwise, about the irony. History shows that when powerful entities honor someone with memorials, it sometimes masks deeper involvement. Think of Martin Luther King Jr., whose federal holiday came after years of FBI surveillance and harassment. Or John F. Kennedy, whose assassination has long been tied to shadowy government elements. Plaques and parades can feel like consolation prizes in a game where truth is the real casualty. But what elevated Seth's death from a local tragedy to a national enigma was the timing. Just weeks after his murder on July 22, 2016, WikiLeaks published over 20,000 emails from DNC computers. These leaks exposed internal biases, suggesting favoritism toward Hillary Clinton over Bernie Sanders in the primaries. The revelations rocked the Democratic National Convention, leading to Debbie Wasserman Schultz's resignation. The official narrative pinned the leaks on Russian hackers, part of broader interference in the 2016 election. But questions lingered. Who was the real source? And why did Seth's death align so perfectly with this digital bombshell? Enter Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks. In an interview on the Dutch television program Nieuwsuur on August 9, 2016, Assange addressed the risks his sources face. Unprompted, he brought up Seth Rich. Whistleblowers go to significant efforts to get us material and often very significant risks. There's a 27-year-old who works for the DNC who was shot in the back, murdered just a few weeks ago for unknown reasons as he was walking down the street in Washington. When the interviewer suggested it was a robbery, Assange replied, "No, there's no finding." He emphasized the stakes. Our sources take risks, and they become concerned to see things occurring like that. While Assange didn't explicitly name Seth as the source, WikiLeaks protects anonymity. His words fueled speculation. Why mention Seth otherwise? WikiLeaks backed this up with action, announcing a $20,000 reward for information leading to the conviction of Seth's killer. Assange clarified that this shouldn't imply Seth was involved, but the gesture spoke volumes. Combined with the police's $25,000 reward and later additions from Republican lobbyist Jack Berkman, who offered $100,000, then more. It painted a picture of urgency. Berkman, who briefly worked pro bono for the Rich family before they distanced themselves, launched ad campaigns and canvassing in D.C. He even suggested Russian involvement at one point, but the core question remained: was Seth silenced for leaking those emails? The family's private investigator, Rod Wheeler, a former D.C. homicide detective, added fuel to the fire. Hired with funding from third-party Ed Butowski, a financier and Fox News contributor, Wheeler conducted a parallel investigation. In an on-camera interview with Fox 5 DC on May 15, 2017, Wheeler stated there was tangible evidence on Seth's laptop showing communication with WikiLeaks prior to his death. I have a source inside the police department that has looked at me straight in the eye and said, "Rod, we were told to stand down on this case, and I can't share any information with you." He confirmed FBI sources linked Seth to WikiLeaks. Absolutely. Yeah, that's confirmed. Wheeler believed the laptop held the key, possibly in police or FBI custody, and accused authorities of a cover-up, potentially tied to the mayor's office or DNC. This bombshell aligned with reports from other sources. Comments by Assange in various interviews implied Seth's role. Assange told Sky News that threats to suspected sources are treated with gravity, again nodding to Seth without confirmation. Roger Stone, a political advisor, connected dots, noting suspicious deaths around the DNC leaks. Even cybersecurity analyses questioned the Russian hack narrative. Some experts noted altered date stamps on the files, set to July 5, 2016, just days before Seth's death in Eastern Time. But then, Wheeler backtracked. In follow-up statements, he claimed miscommunication and denied direct FBI sourcing. The Rich family, through spokesperson Brad Bauman, expressed disappointment, saying they were committed to facts and that Wheeler's contract barred unauthorized press talks. Yet this sudden shift raised eyebrows. In high-stakes cases, witnesses often change stories under pressure, threats, payoffs, or intimidation. History is rife with examples. Whistleblowers in Watergate faced smears. Iran-Contra figures recanted under duress. In Seth's case, was Wheeler coerced? The family's lawsuits against media outlets perpetuating theories. Winning settlements from Fox News and others suggested a desire for closure, but also highlighted how narratives are controlled. The mainstream narrative pushed hard against these links. Fact-checkers and major outlets like the New York Times, Los Angeles Times, and Washington Post labeled connections unfounded, citing indictments of Russian agents and intelligence conclusions. But dig deeper, and inconsistencies emerge. Seth didn't have high-level access, critics said, but as voter data director, he worked with systems that could intersect email servers. Co-workers noted his upset over Russian hacks, but that could indicate awareness of internal vulnerabilities. The FBI's non-involvement, leaving it to DC police, seemed odd for a case with national implications. This isn't isolated. Governments throughout history have shown a track record of eliminating threats to their power. Declassified documents have revealed CIA involvement in assassination plots against foreign leaders who opposed U.S. interests. Closer to home, the FBI's domestic surveillance program known as COINTELPRO specifically targeted civil rights activists, including Martin Luther King Jr., through wiretapping, infiltration, and smear campaigns that contributed to the intense pressure surrounding his eventual assassination. Similarly, the assassination of President John F. Kennedy was long presented as the work of a lone gunman, but over decades, official investigations, witness accounts, and declassified files have led many to accept that multiple actors, meaning our own CIA, were likely involved. No political party lines will protect ordinary citizens. Power corrupts regardless of who holds office. During my research for this episode, I encountered a troubling pattern. Many original online articles that explored the possibility of Seth Rich as a whistleblower who may have contacted WikiLeaks with those 20,000 DNC emails have simply vanished from the internet. When you try to access them now, all you see is a 410 gone error message indicating the page no longer exists. This is not random. Powerful entities frequently scrub the internet of inconvenient information they want kept from the public, pushing dissenting views down in search results and erasing evidence that challenges the official narrative. Why do this? To maintain the spoon-fed story. Trust us, it was just a robbery. Nothing to see here. Seth's family suffered immensely. Parents Joel and Mary, brother Aaron, they grieved amid politicization. In a Washington Post op-ed, they pleaded, "We're Seth Rich's parents. Stop politicizing our son's murder." They sued the Fox network for emotional distress after a retracted story echoing Wheeler's claims, settling for 7 figures in 2020. Aaron sued Butowski and others for implicating him, leading to retractions. Their pain is real. They deserve answers. But their calls for facts align with truth seekers. If it's just a robbery, why no arrests? Why stand down orders? Why are the media and our government gaslighting anyone who looks into the potential and very real WikiLeaks connection? Broader patterns emerge. Other deaths around 2016. Joe Montano, aide to Tim Kaine, heart attack. Sean Lucas, who sued the DNC, found dead. Coincidences? Or echoes of Clinton body count lists? Dismissed, but persistent. Russian intelligence allegedly tried implicating Seth to deflect from themselves per reports, but that could be misdirection. The 2019 Mueller report documented that WikiLeaks received an encrypted file from the Guccifer 2.0 persona on July 14, 2016, 4 days after Seth Rich's death, containing access to what was described as a large archive of DNC documents. WikiLeaks then published those materials on July 22nd. The report presents this as evidence that the leaks came from Russian-linked actors operating under the Guccifer 2.0 front. However, private Twitter direct messages later revealed that even as Julian Assange was publicly raising Seth Rich's name in interviews, implying risks to sources like him, Assange was simultaneously reaching out to Guccifer 2.0, asking for more material from them well after Seth's murder. This raises serious questions. If Seth was truly not involved, why did Assange keep highlighting him unprompted in the first place? And why pursue additional files from a suspected Russian intelligence persona if the source was supposedly a dead American whistleblower? Some see this as layered sources or deliberate obfuscation to shift blame away from an internal DNC leak, keeping the door open to the idea that Seth may have played a role before his death, with foreign elements exploiting or amplifying the fallout afterward. The official line insists on Russian hacking alone, but the timing and Assange's own words continue to fuel doubt about the full story. Imagine Seth walking home, phone in hand. Did he uncover something explosive? Emails showing rigged primaries, donor influences? Leaking to WikiLeaks would expose corruption, but at what cost? A professional hit, shots in the back, no theft. It fits assassination profiles. Quick, clean, staged as a crime. Bruises suggest Seth's resistance. He fought back, a testament to his spirit. Years later, the case still haunts. Documentaries like BBC's Conspiracy Files: Murder in Washington and Netflix's Web of Make-Believe revisit it, but often through official lenses. Online original stories on Seth WikiLeaks ties require deep digging. Pages of Google results bury them under denials. If you try to search for the early articles and reports that seriously explored possible ties between Seth Rich and WikiLeaks, such as the original Fox 5 DC interview with Rod Wheeler, claiming evidence of communications, or contemporaneous pieces highlighting Julian Assange's comments and the WikiLeaks reward, you'll find it takes real effort to uncover them. The first several pages of Google results are now dominated by articles from major outlets labeling the idea a debunked conspiracy theory, with heavy emphasis on official denials, fact checks, and retractions. Many of those older, more open-minded or questioning stories from 2016 and 2017 have simply disappeared. When you click on archived links or try to access them directly, you often get an error, meaning the page no longer exists on the server. This isn't accidental. Powerful interests, whether big tech platforms, media gatekeepers, or government-influenced entities, regularly scrub or deprioritize inconvenient information from the public internet to shape what people see and believe. It creates a chilling effect. The narrative gets controlled, dissenting perspectives get buried or erased, and we're left wondering what truths are being hidden to protect the official story that it was nothing more than a random robbery. This censorship is dangerous. We can't blindly trust governments to always act in our interest. History proves otherwise, from Tuskegee experiments to MK Ultra mind control. What are they hiding? Perhaps the fragility of democracy? If a staffer like Seth could leak explosive information and be eliminated, it erodes faith. Who controls the narrative? Media is tied to elites, funded by the powerful. Mainstream media often dismisses those who raise uncomfortable questions, reframing their doubts as unfounded or misguided. Yet the pursuit of truth knows no political boundaries. It's a universal call that unites us all. In a world of controlled narratives, we must all embrace a spirit of independent thinking, challenging assumptions wherever they arise. Dissidents must think freely and question everything. Seth Rich's legacy endures as a quiet reminder of dedication in the face of a broken system. Through his work at the DNC, he built tools like the computer application he developed to help voters easily locate their polling stations, that aimed to make democracy more accessible and inclusive for everyday people. In that spirit, his Unsolved murder serves as a stark warning. When powerful interests feel threatened by transparency or leaks, ordinary individuals can pay the ultimate price. It calls us to stay vigilant, to question official narratives, and to pursue truth relentlessly, no matter the obstacles or the cost. The rewards for information still stand, yet justice remains out of reach. Who truly killed Seth Rich? Until the full answers emerge, his story continues to whisper a simple, urgent message. In a world where information is controlled and inconvenient facts disappear, we must keep our eyes open and demand accountability. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the unknown. True Crime Sleep Stories is hosted and created by Kelly Brink, produced with the support of our dedicated team. Subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platform to help us keep telling these haunting tales. Visit patreon.com/KellyBrink for exclusive content and to join our community. Thank you for listening, and we'll meet you in the shadows next time. Until then, stay safe out there and lock your doors. Good night.